Jeremiah chapter 50. The word that the Lord spake concerning Babel, and concerning the land of the Chaldeans by the ministry of Jeremiah the prophet. Declare among the nations, and publish it, and set up a standard. Proclaim it, and conceal it not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken down. Her idols are confounded, and their images are burst in pieces. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land waste, and none shall dwell therein. They shall flee and depart, both man and beast. In those days and at that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping shall they go, and seek the Lord their God. They shall ask the way to Zion, and their faces thitherward, saying, Come, let us cleave to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. My people have been as lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray, and have turned them away to the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill, and forgotten their resting place. All that found them have devoured them. And their enemies said, We offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Flee from the midst of Babel, and depart out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be ye as the he-goats before the flock. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babel a multitude of mighty nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her, whereby she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a strong man, which is expert, for none shall return in vain. And Chaldea shall be spoiled. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Because you were glad and rejoiced in destroying mine heritage, and because ye are grown fat, as the calves in the grass, and neighed like strong horses. Therefore your mother shall be sore confounded, and she that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the uttermost of nations shall be a desert, a dry land and a wilderness. Because of the wrath of the Lord it shall not be inhabited, it shall be wholly desolate. Every one that goeth by Babel shall be astonished, and hiss at her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babel round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Cry against her round about. She hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, and her walls are destroyed. For it is the vengeance of the Lord that taketh vengeance upon her, as she hath done, do unto her. Destroy the sower from Babel, and him that handleth the scythe in the time of the harvest. Because of the sword of their oppressor, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. Israel is like scattered sheep. The lions have dispersed them. First the king of Assyria hath devoured them. And last, this Nebuchadnezzar king of Babel hath broken his bones. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Behold, I will visit the king of Babel and his land as I have visited the king of Assyria, and I will bring Israel again to his habitation. He shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon the mount Ephraim and Gilead. In those days and at that time, saith the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none, and the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found. For I will be merciful unto them whom I reserve. Go up against the land of the rebels, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekod. Destroy, and lay it waste after them, saith the Lord, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. A cry of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole world destroyed and broken? How is Babel become desolate among the nations? I have snared thee, and thou art taken, O Babel, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and art also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. The Lord hath opened his treasure, and hath brought forth the weapons of his wrath. For this is the work of the Lord God of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, tread on her as on sheaves, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. Destroy all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, and the time of their visitation. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babel, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, and the vengeance of his temple. Call up the archers against Babel, all ye that bend the bow. Besiege it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, and according to all that she hath done. Do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, even against the Holy One of Israel. Therefore shall her young men fall in the street, and all her men of war shall be destroyed. In that day, saith the Lord. Behold, I come unto thee, O proud man, saith the Lord God of hosts, for thy day is come, even the time that I will visit thee. And the proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all around about him. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them, and would not let them go. But their strong Redeemer, whose name is the Lord of hosts, he shall maintain their cause, that he may give rest to the land, and disquiet the inhabitants of Babel. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babel, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the soothsayers, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her strong men, and they shall be afraid. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the multitude that are in the midst of her, and they shall be like women. The sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be spoiled. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, and they dote upon their idols. Therefore the Zims and the limbs shall dwell there, and the ostriches shall dwell therein. For it shall no more be inhabited, neither shall it be inhabited from generation to generation. As God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, with the places thereof near about, saith the Lord, so shall no man dwell there, neither shall the Son of Man remain there. Behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the buckler. They are cruel and unmerciful. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, and be put in array like men to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babel. The king of Babel hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Sorrow came upon him, even sorrow as a woman in travail. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of the Jordan, unto the strong habitation. For I will make Israel to rest, and I will make them to haste away from her. And who is a chosen man, that I may appoint against her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is the shepherd that shall stand before me? Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord, that he hath devised against Babel, and his purpose that he hath conceived against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the winning of Babel, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. Jeremiah chapter 51. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will raise up against Babel, and against the inhabitants that lift up their heart against me, a destroying wind, and will send unto Babel fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her on every side. Also to the bender that bendeth his bow, and to him that lifteth himself up in his brigadine, I will say, Spare not her young men, but destroy all her hosts. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel hath been no widow, nor Judah from his God, from the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babel, and deliver every man his soul. Be not destroyed in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babel hath been as a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore do the nations rage. Babel is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, bring balm for her sore, if she may be healed. We would have cured Babel, but she could not be healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment is come up unto heaven, and is lifted up to the clouds. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God. Make bright the arrows, gather the shield. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, for his purpose is against Babel to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, and the vengeance of his temple. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babel. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the scouts. For the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babel. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, even the end of thy covetousness. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars, and they shall cry and shout against thee. He hath made the earth by his power, and establisheth the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heaven by his discretion. He giveth by his voice the multitude of waters in the heaven, and he causeth the clouds to ascend from the ends of the earth. He turneth lightnings to rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Every man is a beast by his own knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image, for his melting is but falsehood, and there is no breath therein. They are vanity and the work of errors. In the time of their visitation they shall perish. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the maker of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Thou art mine, hammer and weapons of war. For with thee I will break the nations, and with thee I will destroy kingdoms. And by thee will I break horse and horseman, and by thee will I break the chariot and him that rideth therein. By thee also will I break man and women, and by thee will I break old and young, and by thee will I break the young man and the maid. I will also break by thee the shepherd and his flock, and by thee will I break the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and by thee will I break the dukes and princes. And I will render unto Babel and to the inhabitants of the Chaldeans all their evil that they have done in Zion, even in your sight, saith the Lord. Behold, I come unto thee, whose destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. They shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be destroyed forever, saith the Lord. Set up a standard in the land, blow the trumpets among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call up the kingdoms of Ararat, Mene, and Ashkenaz against her, appoint the princes against her, cause horses to come up as the rough caterpillars, prepare against her the nations, with the kings of the Medes, the dukes thereof, and the princes thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble and sorrow, for the device of the Lord shall be performed against Babel, to make the land of Babel waste without inhabitant. The strong men of Babel have ceased to fight, they have remained in their hold. Their strength hath failed, and they were like women. They have burnt her dwelling places, and her bars are broken. A post shall run to meet the post, and a messenger to meet the messenger. to show the king of Babel that his city is taken on a side thereof, and that the passages are stopped, and the reeds burnt with fire, and the men of war troubled,